That was a great interview, Jeff. Now finally, where can I find your website?
I don't have a website.
What?
I just never got around to making one.
You know what? I can't take you seriously with an attitude like that. I am extremely disappointed in you. To not have a website is irresponsible, lazy, you lack ambition. I mean, where's the vision?
Don't be like Jeff. Be responsible. Get out there and shine with a beautiful website by Web Orchard, where they will take care of all of your website needs. Go to theweborchard.com right now and get a beautiful website you deserve.
You know what? Get out.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with me, Alex Whiteley. Today, we've got a great episode featuring Claire Martinez from Colours of Shrewsbury, good friend who I've met along the way. You may remember we did the interview with Alex from Osteria, which, congratulations, is now the best Italian restaurant in the Midlands, and he's the best Italian chef in the whole of the UK. So well done to Alex and the guys from Osteria. But Claire facilitates their social media. And when I got there, she knew everything about me, and we started off chatting. And it's because this girl's got her ear so closely to the ground. She's very clever and she's very good at what she does, and you're about to find out all about that right now. But first, I want to say thank you I'm getting lots of events to invites to lots of events and stuff, and like life is life and work is work and stuff. But I want to say a thank you to the guys from Ghost Dog. You may remember a while ago we spoke to them about their interactive video game, I Saw Black Clouds. The game is like it's like a turn-based strategy game which features a movie, and you choose which steps to go in the movie. What they've done is they've made an actual movie out of that footage now, and they invited me to the screening party, which I am working on. So I'm very sorry I'm working, I can't come, but we've been chatting, and maybe there are things we can do. We can get like a catch-up interview with them. Interesting folks, you would love that. Also to James Millichamp, another great friend of the show, has invited me to his annual exhibition in Ironbridge. Again, working. These all happen. I work 4 on, 4 off. These things happen when I'm on my 4 on, so huge shame. And finally, the WTAF one is The Scribes. I fell in love with these guys at Loopfest, and they messaged me personally to invite me along as like a guest of honor to their show. And again, I'm actually in Turkey. I'm in Turkey. I can't go. So I wrote to the Scribes and I said, look, guys, send me something and I'll read it out on the show, see if I can get as many people there as possible. These guys are phenomenal. It's hip hop as it comes out, falls out the sky. It's freestyling. You can hold things up and they will rap about the things you're holding in your hands at Albert Shed. You're not going to want to miss this. Let me read this. It says, the Scribes are live at Albert's Shed in Shrewsbury on Friday, October the 25th. First time the group will be performing in the area since the acclaimed show at St. Mary's Church for Loopfest. It was very good. Fresh from Glastonbury, Isle of Wight, WOMAD, Boomtown, and too many more festivals to name, this really cannot be missed. So make sure you're there to support original music at your local independent music venue. Support on the night comes from local rising star Miss Inc, who I interviewed at the Shropshire Musical last year. Amazing star. So be sure to arrive early. Sean from the Scribes says to us, we loved Loopfest earlier in the year. Was an absolutely amazing audience with a beautiful vibe and a lot of energy. So we can't wait to be back in Shrewsbury for more of the same on October the 25th. Thank you for the invite, guys. And listeners, you don't want to miss this show. Honestly, these guys are phenomenal. They're a group of freestyles, beatboxers, and they'll just blow your mind. So thank you to the Scribes, thank you to James Millichamp, and thank you to the guys from Ghost Dog. I'm a busy guy. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you get into this episode. I asked you guys questions about what it means to be a creative. One challenge and one good thing. I will answer your questions at the end, so don't go anywhere after the main feature interview. I will answer your questions then. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Claire Martinez from the Colours of Shrewsbury. Enjoy.
Every time I think of that, I think of what was said and done. I don't think there's much change. I think I'm still the same. I'm sure some people disagree, but I don't
Hi guys, welcome to another great episode of the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Alex Whiteley, and there are plenty of talented people around Shrewsbury. People with fingers on the pulse, and people know what's going on. But I think my guest today is somebody who's firmly got a finger on the pulse, and is one of the most creative people I've met in the town. And that's Claire from Colours from Shrewsbury. How are you? Colours of Shrewsbury with words and stuff. Yeah. How are you? You good?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
We met when I interviewed Alex at Osteria.
Yeah.
And you were in the background. And you helped put that together. Thank you for that, by the way. That was a really good interview.
The filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't expect to be filmed, did you?
I didn't know. Who was it that says I got a face for... I was interviewing Kevin Horak, the author, the other day at Comic-Con. He goes, you got a face for radio. I was like, oh, okay. I got him back later because it was raining. I was like, oh... You're going to get your hair wet, and he's bald. So, a bit of banter. But no, it was really good because I feel like there's something special going on when someone's filming you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels really good. But
Or the fact that there was two Alexes in one space.
Two Alexes in one space.
And because I do all the content for Alex for his restaurant, I was like, this has got to be filmed.
Absolutely. One's got more accolades than the other, though. He's doing so well, honestly. With
Each their own.
Well, I got the biscuit. He's got the best Italian restaurant in the Midlands. That's amazing.
He just won it on Sunday. I'm the best Italian chef of the UK.
He's brilliant. He's got 1 million followers.
I know.
On Instagram.
I know.
Is that your work? Are you working?
No, that's
just
all
him.
is. Yeah, I just do Osteria.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about all the many things that you do, because you are very creative and there's loads of different things that you work on.
Yeah.
And I've walked past you many times when you're like on a ladder painting something or designing something. So we've got to get into that. But first of all, we need to find. Well, obviously, you got a beautiful, rich accent. Where are you from originally?
Originally from Yorkshire.
From Yorkshire.
Yeah.
I went to York recently. It's a beautiful city.
York's is amazing. It's if you're going up north, that's the one place you've got to go, especially with the historical and the Tudor buildings. And yeah,
my brother-in-law lives up in Leeds, so we went to see him. I was like, we just watched the Lost Kingdom, amazing series. But I was like, we need to go and see York. So he took us, and it's like Shrewsbury on like steroids. It's massive, isn't it? It's like you might imagine like Fish Street, but all the way through a city. Like
but not as many independents. There's a lot of chain shops as well.
Yeah,
which what Shrewsbury has that they don't have.
Really, is there something about like Yorkshire that is similar in Shropshire for you living here now? Is there something that is quite familiar about Shropshire for it? Because Yorkshire's like it's like you have little cities in between, like lots of countryside. Do you know what I mean?
I'm from a village which is between two towns, and so it was just a really small village where you've just got a barber, a pub, a corner shop, and a bank, which eventually closed down. So I feel like there's not much going on from where golf courses behind, and then farmers' fields in front.
Well, when you live in a place like that, is that like, are you sort of like, do you know any different, or do you grow up in a place that I think I need something bigger, or because I always think my dad and my family, they live in Bantry Bay in Ireland. It's very similar. It's got like 26 pubs, but then it's got like a chemist and a supermarket. It's got a Lidl now, I think. It's got like a couple of hotels and stuff. Like, but it's quite quaint. But I always imagine that I couldn't live here without the things I've grown up around, the supermarkets and the things that.
I was out. 18, I was gone. I was literally. I worked in Leeds for many years, and then I did that for until I was 28, and I was like, okay, I was in mortgages, I was in banking, I'd done branch, and I'd piloted this outbound team, a few of us, before it all went huge. And anybody that's done outbound calls for a bank, it's like so devastating. 10 hours a day, you kind of go, oh, I just want to be hit by a bus.
I couldn't do that kind of line of work. Like soul destroying, being shouted at by some guy who just doesn't understand what you're trying to tell him. That's what I imagine.
Trying to take them through security when explaining that you're from the bank, but they're like, you're calling me. Why should I go through security? Just to get him to try and sell something. So I did that for many years, and then I decided to move to Rhodes in Lindos,
Oh, right,
in Greece,
okay.
Greek island, And I literally sold everything. And I think I was, 26, 27, 26 maybe. And I'd only been on holiday there a couple of times. Me and my best friend were always going.
And you're like, this is for me.
This is for me. I'm going to move here. It's a quaint little village with cobble streets and like the Acropolis above and open rooftop bars and restaurants. And so I was like, I had this idea. I think I had a midlife crisis really, really young, and I thought, I'm not sitting on this chair for the next 20 years. I've got to do something.
Jet set forever.
And I was like,
Goodbye,
okay.
you.
So I just packed a 20 kg suitcase, got there, and was following somebody that was in a bar, the photographer for the bar, when we'd gone on holiday. And I was like, okay, any jobs going? And he was like, oh, yeah, maybe it's the beginning of the season. So I arrived and he was like, yeah, you can start tomorrow. And I was like, okay. The pay, the rights, the 7 days a week, the under minimum wage. I'd gone from, corporate to
You don't realise how protected we are in the UK till we step outside.
No, and then I got... And then somebody came in and started asking me questions. It was a customer. And she says, oh, I've got a sister-in-law that has a wedding company. And you would be perfect here. And I was like, okay. And she's like, oh, well, what I'll do is I'll set up an interview. Why don't you meet her at like 8 o'clock in the morning for a coffee and have an interview with her? And I was like, okay. Now in Greece, once you start working for a company, or, you can't move around. It's like one of the inside. They own you for the whole season. And if you boycott them, nobody else will hire you because it's the way that the system works. But luckily, because she was British, that rule didn't apply. So anyway, we finished at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was meeting her at 8. So then I literally had an hour's sleep. I took a shower, and I was supposed to meet her for a coffee after an hour's sleep, and then go back to work. And so I'm in the shower, as you do, and I thought, oh, I'll just shave my armpits. Looked down, shaved my armpits, shaved the whole of my eyelashes off. How do you do that? I don't know. But I shaved my armpits, looked down, and I shaved.
You went up your face by accident?
Yeah.
Oh,
the swift movement.
I thought you meant you very carefully sat there.
No.
By mistake, yeah.
By mistake, I cut off my eyelashes with the shaver, and I had to go to this interview with no eyelashes on one eye. She didn't even notice. And so I got there, and she was like, okay, I need a wedding coordinator. I need somebody that works in the office, that does emails. I need somebody that does all the setup for the wedding. So I'll give you an itinerary. This is what the colour flows. Maybe somebody will come in with like they want an Alice in Wonderland tree decorated. I'm going to give you it, and you've got 4 hours to like make it happen before.
Wow.
So it was kind of like thrown in the deep end, learn the hard way. And I did that for 2 years, and then I'd come back over in the winter to do the consultations for the brides that are going out the year after.
Oh, right, so you'd set up the business before and then go back out there and meet them for the...
Yeah.
That's clever.
So it was like 3/4 of the year there, 1/4 of the year here. And then I did that for a couple of years. And then I realised all the people that stay there live off... They end up like squirrels. They work all season, 7 days a week, and then the money that they have in winter, because there's no work, it's seasonal, you live off the money. So there's no way of getting out of that once you're in it. So then after that...
Oh, I get it, yeah.
You spend all what you've earned all summer, you spend it in the winter to survive.
You gotta keep it all to hibernate, yeah.
And then I was seeing people that are in the 50s and the 60s, and they couldn't retire because they're in this vicious circle, and I was like, okay, I can't stay here. This is not going to work either. So... I came back and I decided to work for car sales. I went for Audi. There was like 80 of us going for this one position. And it was between me and this guy, and we had role plays. They'd make us come back. They'd make us do like, the typical thing. Here's a pen, sell it to us. And there's the whole...
Oh, I love that. I used to play that on the podcast.
There's a whole
the gauntlet,
board.
we used to call it. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I sail through stuff like that.
And there's a whole board of chairmen like watching you trying to sell a pen, and it got down to me and this guy, and then I got it. So
any of you fans of antiques, well, Wellington himself owned this pencil. It goes back 300 years. Like, oh, the Wellington's not far, but you know what I mean. Like, I love it.
It's pretty high,
But Audi as well. It's like,
yeah,
it's like very, yeah. So going from there back to the UK, what did you sort of, were the things that you missed and things that you were kind of glad to be back to? I mean, what was that like for you?
Hot water.
The bare necessities.
Toilets that you can put tissue down the toilet.
Oh,
and
yeah, of
flush it.
course. Yeah, there's that, yeah.
And TV. I hadn't seen a TV. I hadn't watched television for like 6-7 months. Again, I don't even have a TV now, so it's kind of like. But it was mesmerising the first time watching TV. After 7 months, I was like, oh. Sat in a bath watching a TV.
It's just like Homes Under the Hammer, and you think it's the best thing you've ever seen or something.
It didn't matter what it was, honestly. It was just mesmerising. But again,
so these are all like, I see this, the going out and fending for yourself, you know, finding a way of surviving, and then getting a job where you've got to like improvise all the time, use your initiatives constantly on the go.
Yeah.
Then moving to somewhere like Audi, you've got to be on the ball, you've got to like fit in with the clientele, and you've got to sell things in the correct way. This is all like sort of training you to sort of like work in multiple avenues, isn't it, I suppose?
I've always been like that. I've always just gone from one randomness to another. But like, I've never known what I wanted to do. I never known what I wanted to be. So it's like, I mean, some people can just stay in the same job forever, but until I'm happy, I just continued this search looking for something that fulfilled me. And I didn't find it until now.
Until now, where Colours of Shrewsbury, where, I mean, so you're out, let's do this, right? So you're Audi, right? When do you move to Shropshire? Like,
we moved to Shropshire like seven years ago, but that was it. I was in Oswestry first, so I have a cabinet making
poor
company.
soul. Are you okay? Joking, Oswestry, I'm joking.
Well, I was in the middle of nowhere, and the only person that you saw once a week was the postman. And I was like, even a taxi driver won't come out, takeaways won't come out. I was like, I need more than this. I need more than this.
Wow.
We took it. It's because we'd moved. We had a cabinet making company. Me and my partner. After Audi, I met him. I moved to Manchester. We opened up a company because he's a qualified cabinet maker. And at first, it was supposed to be me designing, doing the consultations, and then I just got sucked into the workshop. So I spent then the next 8 years painting and sanding, and then helping, basically being his wingman.
So, hold on, right? So, because I'm piecing this all together. So you can consult with people because you've been doing that in roads, and you can plan events, and you can improvise. You can sell a product because you've been at Audi, and now you're designing cabinets because you're handy like that. So you've got like this full spectrum of where like Colours of Shrewsbury now is kind of uses all of those skills that you've learned.
That's it, basically. On the search of trying to find out who I am and what I want to do, I don't regret anything that I did. I don't think anybody should look back in life and regret anything, because there's always a lesson that you learn from even if it's a relationship, from a friendship, a partner, family, it doesn't matter. Even if you never see them people again, you will take something from each unique experience that you have. And that's what leads you to where you are now.
I love that positive outset. I wish I could think like that all the time, because you move from job to job, and I think all you think about when you move from jobs is the negatives. But like, I feel like if you look back at what you've actually learned, and maybe learned about yourself, learned about a particular skill that you've got, like we've all kind of evolved, but it's whether you want to accept that, whether you want to look into that and move with that kind of momentum.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think after there was a transition basically from. I've still got the cabinet making business, so I still do all the designing, but I've stepped away from the workshop. So I'll do the fittings of the furniture with my husband, and I'll do the consultations, and I'll do the designing, and then all the back and forth with the customers and the clients for quotations and questions, and I deal with all that. But I needed something. I was still urging for something for myself.
Yeah.
And I needed something for me. So about a year and a half ago, no, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, we were trying to have a family. And we couldn't. We were like, something's wrong here. It's not working. So we contacted the doctors. They started taking blood analysis, and then they referred us to Shrewsbury IVF clinic. And it took about 7 months to actually get to the meaty bit where, let's do something. And then they said, no, we tried you with drugs. You didn't respond. We'll check you next week, but I don't think it's going to happen. So then I got all down. And then
Yeah, I'll get anybody down.
The week after, they said, oh, no, we can maybe try. I mean, it's a very slim chance, but we'll try. And I was like, I can do it. I'll try it. So we did all the injections, all of this. And then the weekend before they were supposed to do the operation to, any of the follicles that they've stimulated with all these injections that they've given you. The weekend before, I went for a scan and they said, you've not responded. So you've literally, you've got premature ovarian failure, which means like at 35 at that time, you don't have what somebody should have at your age. It's insufficient, basically.
So is it matured quicker than it should have?
Yeah,
basically?
so I'm like perimenopause and all that at such a young age. And that took me, that was March, and I opened Colours of Shrewsbury in October. And again, the search of, I need something for me. I went down this avenue, it didn't work. That gave me the momentum I needed in my head and like something to go for.
Focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was my husband, because I've been doing all the social media.
Listen, Mike.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Sorry. I've been doing all the social media for our cabinet making company, like doing all the videos, the photographs, all of that. So I'd spent 9 years doing that already.
Yeah.
And then my husband was like, you're really good at it. Why don't you try and do something along those lines? So at first, Colours of Shrewsbury was supposed to be promoting businesses, creating content for the social media. There's a lot of people that don't have the time to do it.
I've spoke with business people that have gone, I'm not doing no fancy social media stuff. I'm not making no Instagram videos. I'm not doing this and that. And they're no longer in business. Like, you've got to stay with it.
100%. Yeah. Otherwise you don't survive.
And if you haven't got the time to do it, best to get someone in to do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I went down that avenue. That was a bit of a struggle, saying, hi, I'm Claire.
Yeah, I've done that before with the biscuit, and it's not easy.
No, nobody knows who you are.
You walk in with a business card, somebody thinks you're going to sell them something, and in your case you are, but you're offering them, like, in many respects, a lifeline with a business, because, like, again, like, marketing is not easy to come across. Captivate, who I host my podcast with, if you don't understand, but all podcasts run through like a website called a host, which then pushes it out to Spotify and iTunes. And I use Captivate, great British company. I'm going to get the founder on my other podcast soon. But they did a questionnaire and they were like, what can Captivate do for me? And I was like, buy me a billboard. I had this idea of getting a B-52 and just leaflet dropping the whole of Shrewsbury, telling people about my podcast. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody wants exposure.
Yeah. Without exposure, nobody knows who you are or what you do.
Exactly, yeah.
So they can't find you. But anyway, it started off with that. And then I was working with Jennifer at White Orchard. And she was like, can you do window displays? I was like, yeah, of course I can. Yeah, no problem.
I can do anything.
I can do anything I put my mind to. And obviously because of the decorating from the wedding and venue and all of that.
And designing cabinets as well. I mean, like, it sounds daft, but like, there's that intricacy there that you need. Like
visualization.
Yeah.
And making it come to life as well. So I was like, yep, no problem. And then she got super busy at Christmas. And she was like, could you display all the stock in the shop? Because if I'm serving, I don't have time to get stock out from around the back and then replenish all the shelves and make it look good. Can you do something like that? And I was like, yeah. So I ended up doing their social media account. And then I went into the window displays and then the stock displays. And then it got to Christmas and she was like, I want to do something special for Christmas. And I went, I've got this amazing idea. Window art. And she was like, yeah, I don't know. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take my initiative here. I've got double patio doors at home. I took a design and I did my own patio doors, and then I sent her a video and she went, oh, I want it. And then Mark from Prego walked past and he was like, do you fancy doing mine? And then Prego on the lane. And then it just snowballed. Doing window art for Christmas last year was just manic. I just didn't stop.
That's incredible. That's like the perfect business model, because it's literally a window. Do you know what I mean? Like when people literally window shop, and when you look in the window and it looks as nice as the one you've designed, people go, "Oh, I wish my shop had something like that." It's like the word of mouth.
And people see how it's working, how it looks, it's literally like a moth to a flame. You have all these tourists that come in December to Shrewsbury, and all the shops can look the same, but if something that stands out grabs your attention, it just pulls you straight in.
Well, we talk about York, the shambles. Like you look down there, and it's the one with the quirky door or the strange window or something that catches your eye. You're right. You know, even if something is as unique as Shrewsbury as Wild Cop, you know, it looks beautiful looking up there.
Yeah.
But it all kind of blends into one, doesn't it? It's, it's a beautiful street.
Yeah.
And then you look at Henry Tudor House now, the way it looks, and it's like, oh, that looks mint. I want to go and look in there. You know?
No, that building's amazing.
Yeah.
It's Jill's, isn't it?
Jill's now, Yeah, they're going. They're like, I was on my way to, I was in Nantwich, and there's a Jules pub there. I was like, I'm sure they're Shropshire based, but they're like literally.
No, I think they're Cheshire and Shropshire.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I looked them up because they contacted me to do some hand-painted Christmas baubles. Unfortunately, they went a different direction, but they said, now we know who you are and what you do. We've got much more.
I spoke to Joel from the prison about throwing spaghetti on the wall until it sticks, right? You've just got because he's like literally the epitome of that, because he had the fun house there, he's done axe throwing, he's done the scare maces, he's done Christmas markets, everything he can do at the prison he's done. Like, so he's just like trying those different things. And you know, I've tried different things. We did the thing with Greenhouse, the car shows, like, you know, we did them. I don't think we're going to do them anymore. But I tried. You know what I mean? It was something you've got to be able to do it, and the same for yourself. You got to
100%. I think the worst thing in life is to look back and regret that you didn't take the opportunity when you had it, or the chance to do something. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody says no, or you can't do it. But until you try, how do you know?
Those car shows were so hard because there was so much work to do, because you'd arrange it, you'd schedule it, you'd turn up, you'd record it, and then that was a pain in the backside because I was using my phone and a tripod because I'd have to sell my camera to survive.
We've all been there.
And then you'd have to take it home, you'd have to edit it, then you'd have to render the audio, and then it was a lot of work, and I wasn't getting a lot out of it, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But I tried, like you said, you know, the worst thing that happened to me there was I realised that these things were not as easy as I thought they were going to be, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is at least try.
Now, social media is not an easy thing to do. It's running one social media can be like a full-time job. Like, people will see me in House Coffee or Stop or something, and I've got my Meta open and I'm scheduling things in. But you know, you've got to make those things before you've done it. You've got to schedule it. You've got to get it at the right time. You've got to
work with the business at the right time as well.
People are slagging off AI at the moment, but ChatGPT is my absolute best friend at the moment.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and I tell everybody about it, because anybody that I've come across people that say that they can't string a sentence together and write it, they're not sure about the spelling. People that have, they have a fear of writing.
Yeah, that I've always talked about, you know, that write up I do at the bottom of every podcast I do. That's one of the hardest things I do.
Yeah.
Now, so what I'll do is I'll ramble on for like 4 or 5 paragraphs. I'll chuck it onto Chat GPT. I'm like, make this more concise, and they'll do it to a paragraph and a half. And I'm like, I love you so much.
Tools. There's nothing wrong with using tools.
No, there isn't. I mean, I wouldn't plagiarize a book or someone's art with AI. There's morals with that. Do you know what I mean? But as a tool, yeah, it's very handy.
It is
very handy. Especially like things like music and stuff. I remember the first theme tune for the season Alpha
Yeah.
I got from an AI site. It was awful. I hated it. And it sounds awful now when I look at it. And I thought, there's so many like amazing local musicians. Why don't I just ask local musicians if I can use their music? And that's working really well. So I'm glad that.
Yeah, but it's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Because I look back to things that I did a year ago and I go, oh my God, what a difference to where I am now and what I do and the level of quality that I do. It's just a gradual, you know, you improvise, you put new things in place and you just keep, you know, evolution.
I mean, like it's. I mean, that's amazing. But like sometimes you can grow so quickly that you are like you have no. I've done things. Like I was running the Shrewsbury Biscuit. You suck. I was running a radio show. I was planning Pod Aid. I had a full-time job, and I was doing all these things, and they were all growing as quick as each other. And I kind of didn't know what to do with it, and it ran too quickly, and it just dissolved in front of me. Now you're talking about like Prego comes to you and there's other shops come to you.
Yeah.
Did that grow at a nice rate? Was it a bit too quick for you at times? How was that for you from the beginning when you started doing the windows?
I'm a fighter.
You're a fighter.
I'm a fighter. So whatever you throw
Bring
at me,
it on.
I'm going to do. And it was just literally one day after another in the freezing cold with the designs, the paints, lugging on my bike. Because you've got to remember, I do all this by bicycle.
On the bike, yeah, got on the logo as well, yeah.
That's why my logo's a bike. But I do all this in the bike, so whether it's raining, whatever, I will make it work. So I know there's going to be a ceiling where I have to maybe say no at a certain point. But I'm not there yet. I'm not prepared to say no yet. I'm just planning on keep on going. Because so a lot of people think I just do windows. I don't do windows. I do like all the hand-painted signage and the logo designs. So I'm currently doing one for a pub. And then there's another one which is under... I'm keeping quiet about it because it's all under wraps. I'm not allowed to talk about it. But there's another restaurant coming to Shrewsbury. And I'm literally doing their hand-painted signage and boards on top of the fact I'm doing... pub signage and hand-painted signage as well as running Yak and Yeti's social media account, Osteria's, mine, Gil Martinez, the cabinet makers, and then fitting in between window art as well. So I'm not saying no.
You're just a busy lass.
I'm just really, really busy. You know?
And that's really good because it shows that you've got a quality that people want. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, it won't be like, oh, just get Claire to do it. It's like, we want Claire. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I think it's more to do with reliability and consistency. What I've found is people ask you to do something or get a quote or put something together, but then they don't follow through. You have to chase them, and I'm not like that. I'm very business minded, and I also get to know your business as well. So for me, if I'm working with you, I understand your business. I'm not going to make you chase after me. I'm going to be on top of everything. So if I say I'm going to turn up on Tuesday, I'm coming on Tuesday, and that's it. And following through with what I say I'm going to do. And I think that is the key also to my success, is that I'm versatile. You can just go, oh, Claire, can you do this? Can you do this? And I'll go, yeah. And I'll turn up when I say I'm going to turn up, and I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
I think consistency is really, really important. And this is one thing that's the Biscuit's struggling with at the moment. And I'm sorry to flip it back onto me again, but I'm kind of like fitting myself into like, because it makes sense to me. The Biscuit was like, what, a show every week. Yeah. And it was doing really well. And then we flipped to season. I had a break, and then I flipped to seasons, 10 episode seasons and a break, 10 episode seasons and a break.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely killing my analytics because there's not a show every Monday anymore.
Yeah.
And it's killed the listenership. It's mad, like how really genuinely important consistency is.
Yeah.
When they talk about TikTok or Reels or podcasts or whatever it is you're doing, if you don't have that consistency there, that routine of bam, 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 you'll fall off algorithms. People will lose touch of what your content, and it's really important to stay on top.
And the people that go, they inquire, and then they go, you know what, I think I'm just going to have a go myself.
Yeah,
and then the last 2 weeks, and then they drop off, and you're right back to where you were when you first asked me to do something for you. Because not everybody understands how it works. But I don't believe in charging ridiculous prices either for small businesses, because at the end of the day, I don't have any overheads. As a small business, it's hard to maintain and to survive in the current climate as it is. So I think it's more to do with getting to a balance of what's affordable for you and what I can make happen.
And how do you do that? Do you take your expenses, spread it out over a year and think, sorry, excuse me, frog in my throat. You spread out, you add it all up, spread it out over a year, and then give yourself a wage? Or do you like have expectations of, I mean, how does that work? Because to be fair, it's quite hard when you're, going from client to client to client.
I have a set daily rate that I just tell everybody, this is my daily rate. If it's more social media, it depends on the package. So how many hours you want me filming content, how many reels that you want me to make. I mean, I don't think, I know that some companies that will go like, I want to post 7 days a week, and it's like, you don't have to post 7 days a week. You just have to be in the forefront
It's
of
about being
things.
impactful.
Yeah, it's better to have higher quality and consistency than it is to have just throw anything on there that doesn't actually mean anything to anybody for the sake of posting something.
I noticed I'm getting a lot of traction on some of my reels lately. Some of my face stuff, like I don't usually go for the camera, so I've been like making a lot of reels, and like Comic-Con, I was like making lots of reels, and I was thinking, maybe I'm oversaturating my own sort of social media, so I need to rein it back a bit. But then there's like loads of content I've got that's all reels, and I've got like,
No, you've got. I think now people want to have this experience that they are you seeing and feeling and smelling and touching what you're filming, and it's almost like an experience that they're going into. I think it's less about flat. At first Instagram was like pictures and everybody liked it, but now everybody wants this experience, like how it is going into the shop or the restaurant or the bar, and can I imagine having that drink, or I'd love that dish, that just looks great, shall we go? That's what you have to do. You have to pull people in. You have to, and also you go, there's these things say, is it too long if it's more than 30 seconds? Is it too short if it's only 10 seconds? So it's dependent on.
The TikTok have kind of stopped themselves in the foot, really, shot themselves in the foot, because they're like not monetizing things that are shorter than a minute, are they? They're like you got to be over a minute to monetize things now. It's kind of like, well, people are like, because TikTok was based on those 15, 20-second videos.
Yeah.
Like that was the buy-in, the drawing. Like the kids are like watching these videos at 30 seconds. And I was talking about, cartoons and stuff at Comic-Con. I was talking about like how content has changed over the years. Now we're after this quick form media where it's very snappy and you just got to grab your attention quickly. And now you're working in restaurants and lots of different cool places, and that's easy to grab that kind of content. Do you have to plan, or is it kind of improvise?
Well, I mean, I rarely do set reels where it's like planned on a table and content. I'm usually right in the thick and middle of a busy restaurant on a Friday or a Saturday night recording. There's everything. There's like frying pans, there's hot water, there's people running
chaos
around. It's just pure manic. The adrenaline rush that you get from being in a kitchen, but then you get to learn who does what, how, where they turn, where their pathways are, where they get the plates from, and then you become one of them.
Yeah.
Over time.
And
so
you're moving around with them. And
so you start realising the flow and what they do and what they're going to do next and what they're going to...
There's not as much chaos as I thought. There's actually organised chaos. They know what they're doing, yeah.
Well, they know what they're doing.
But you're like, excuse me, you're in my shot. He's like,
No, I always want them to pretend I'm not there, because I want to get a really... I don't want them to be looking at the camera or smiling, or, I want them to carry on like as if I'm not there.
Yeah.
At first, it's really awkward for them. They're not used to.
The best I think you just need to go to, guys, if you haven't already, go to the Osteria Instagram and just look at some of the reels, because they are brilliant.
And Yak and Yeti. I've only been doing those for 2 months, but my goodness, they're amazing.
I need to pop into them and say hello, because they're new on, then they come in.
They're too... I'm super lucky, because I've got to be passionate about what I do. If I'm not passionate about what I'm doing, I can't do the job. Even if it doesn't matter to me if you pay me more, if I don't like what I'm doing, if I don't believe in what I'm doing, I couldn't work for Osteria or Yak and Yeti if I didn't actually believe in what they're selling.
Good. That's a good philosophy to have. Like, it's got to move you.
Yeah, I've got to be passionate about it. I love food, so I'm a big, massive foodie.
Well, I mean, Shrewsbury is the right place. Coffee shops, restaurants, bars.
Yeah.
It is hospitality central. I know, like, it's taken a knock recently with a few businesses closing and stuff, but it's always evolving, always new people moving in and moving out. And that's that's kind of like the bread and butter. Like that is what, there's always opportunity around the corner, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. And getting to know people. So getting to know the person behind the business, not just because I'm here to come and try and, do you want your windows or your displays doing, or do you want some social media? I don't do that. I get to know people.
Yeah.
And then leave it to them if they want to come to me.
And that's really important. That's kind of like a really important philosophy of the biscuit. We were just talking about this before we hit record. It's like my drive is to tell the story of a name above a door. So you walk past a shop 10, 15 times, all your life maybe, never gone in there. You don't know the owner, you don't know what they do. Yeah. And that's where you come in and you're like, this is Alex from Osteria. He's this crazy Italian guy that nearly burnt his kitchen down when he was 8 years old. Like,
Yeah. You got to be on your toes with Alex. You don't know what he's going to do next.
He's brilliant. He's got in touch. He was like, he wants to come back on the podcast because his restaurant's done amazing. Won the best Italian restaurant in the Midlands, and he's the best Italian chef in the UK.
Yeah,
right?
at the Italian Awards. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe we can get him back on because he's always got something interesting to say.
He's always got a story, and he's so bubbly and full of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know if he's going to break out a break dance in the middle of the kitchen. You got to be on your toes,
Very passionate, very passionate. So where are you going now with this? Because obviously, you are just. I think can you just pick and choose what you got? Are you happy with the workflow you got? Are you trying to? Would you like to expand? Is it just for you? Would you make the company grow? I mean, what does it look like?
I don't want to grow the company in terms of taking other people on, because then you lose the essence of what it is. It's me. And so if I'm not doing it and I'm just passing it on to somebody else, I just don't believe in that. Because if I wanted to make more money, I could do that. There's a lot of companies that go, okay, I'll take on 18 and 20 under 21-year-olds. I can pay them less than over 21-year-olds, and I can drive out as much social media as possible, and that's not about me. I'm not doing it for that. That's not the model that's working
for you right now. That's you. Yeah.
I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing this for me. This has taken a long time for me to find something that I'm happy doing, that I enjoy doing, that I'm passionate about, that is versatile. No day is the same. It's just constantly changing, and I like it. And I don't. It's my baby that I've just found, and there's no way I love that. I love that passion. It's either I do it or nobody else does it.
I love that. That's really good. How do you stay current? How do you keep up to date with the current sort of social media trends? Are you constantly do you consume social media yourself just to keep up to see what's going on?
Oh, I'm always on either Pinterest or Instagram, whether it's like design or ideas or Pinterest is great for that, for thinking of I've got collections. And
I've just switched from Clipchamp to Canva, because I was like, Clipchamp was really good. Software is really, really important. The right software to have is really, really important. But then I'm on Canva, and I'm like, right, so where's the captions? And there's no captions on Canva. And I was like, what? There's a really long-winded way of making your captions. And I'm like, I've just moved from to Canva.
Yeah.
It's really important.
I think it's not just about trends either. I think it's about understanding what the customer is for each business. So if you depending on different clients, the different audience, I don't think necessarily a trend would work with every business.
Yeah,
I think you've got to understand what their customer is and what the customer base is, and what type of things that they want to see. So, I mean, if I just got a formula and I put the formula to every different business, it wouldn't work. Like, the music's different from one business to another. Whether it's Asian inspired, I've gone for more the traditional music. Alex is more. He wants more like modern and funky, and so the music.
His personality.
Yeah, is showing through his Instagram.
So you wouldn't just walk into town and play like trap music and be like, yo, what up, blah, 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 like, you want some wine, bro? Like, it wouldn't fit. You got to
it's knowing your audience and then catering for that audience. So you've got to understand the business. It's not just about taking a video and throwing it on social media. It's much more in depth than that.
And that's, I think, where like your years of experience of understanding, you know, what's going on in roads and coming back over here, like that's kind of helped you, like. But that's you naturally. I imagine you just sit and listen to people and understand what they need. And I remember the first conversation that we had. You kind of almost knew everything about the biscuit and what I do, and I was kind of like, "Where have you come from?"
I don't know you. Who are you?
It was amazing. I was like, "Wow, you really do get your ear to the ground." Like,
yeah, I like to keep up with what's going on. If businesses are struggling, I kind of like see if I can help them or give them an advice. It's nothing to do with me getting a job out of it. It's just, you know, if some sort of idea pops in my head and I've got the number or I've spoken to them, I'll go away and I'll think about it, and then I'll WhatsApp and I'll say, have you thought about doing this? It's nothing to do with me, but it's just having them relations with people.
It's mad how things evolve. I remember like 2017, it's the end of 2017, the biscuit came. No, it wasn't. Was it 2000? I don't know. It was 2018, I think. And I went for a meeting at the Bid. They were doing the Darwin Festival and they're like, who can we bring in to sort of help? And I remember sitting around and I stood up and I was like, hi, I do the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. You don't probably know what a podcast is, but it's going to be everywhere soon. And that was like, now there's like so many, like, I remember when I first started the Shrewsbury Biscuit and I Googled Shrewsbury in like Podbean or Spotify. There were church sermons, there were no podcasts around Shrewsbury. And now there's loads and loads and loads. I'm not saying that there weren't podcasts, because of course they were, but none that were there out, you know.
Yeah, people know of.
And now it's moved to videos. Everybody wants to see something visual, and I really love the audio stuff. I think that's kind of important to me.
Yeah,
I'd love to get cameras and stuff, but like I said earlier, I don't really do cameras.
You're gonna have to get over it.
I'm gonna have to, yeah, because it evolves now. There are so many people out there, sort of with their phones doing the swishy wishy filming stuff, and it's hard to stay on top of how do you sort of stand out above all that, above all the other sort of, I wouldn't say competitors, but there are content creators in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, of course there is, but each to their own. I think there's a space for everybody.
Yeah, you're right, there is.
There's so many restaurants, bars and businesses. Like, it's not really, I don't see it as like a contest. There's enough work for everybody, and they have their style and I have my style, and I kind of like get up and close and personal, like camera in your face. I'm like, you're cooking a boiling frying pan and I'm right in there, right above you, and you know, and that's my style, and I didn't plan it that way. It's just how it evolved to be that way, and that's good, which I think people actually like it. And people have come up to me and said, oh, I really like how you do that.
You watch the videos, you can feel the flames licking your face.
And burning my phone at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many phones have you gone through? You just got the same one?
They're overheating at the moment. But all the hot plates and the frying pans and the ovens and going in the pizza oven with my hand.
Oh, my God.
Just to get the shot, you know.
Case melting. I'm just imagining and buying hard drives to keep up with it, because like video content takes up so much room. Like my Google account, I think I got the 200 gig like thing, and it's kind of like it's full, and I'm like, how?
Is it? Yeah. No, you just got to keep upgrading, and but it's
they got me by the chin straps for that, because I'm always collecting content. I think I am just an amalgamation of I'm just this massive pot where content goes into, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you must be the same, because you're always collecting stuff. I've never thrown anything away. I've got a hard drive of every single podcast I've ever recorded.
Really?
Yeah, wow. That's mad. I pulled out some stuff from Thorskin the other day, the old podcast I used to have. I've ruined that. That was such a good name for a podcast, and it ended. I cancelled my Podbean account, and then they deleted it. So I can't use that SEO now, because if I wanted to recreate Thorskin as a podcast, it would take me to a dead link. It's a nightmare.
Okay. You're going to have to get some more inspiration.
Remove it from the internet altogether. But it's not easy sort of trying to keep on top of things, is it? You know?
No, it's whatever you do business-wise, it's constant juggle. Constant learning, constant juggling, balls all in the air at the same time, and then trying to carry on
What for you is the easier sort of client to deal with? Is it the one that's been there for 20 odd years and is lacking in a bit of inspiration and needs that drive, or is it the new sort of I've just started a business and I need to make an impact? What kind of is?
Makes no difference to me at all.
Hunger is hunger, right?
Yeah, it really makes no difference to me because I don't know. I just go in and be myself. I talk to them. I can kind of like give them hints and tips and what I would do, what I wouldn't do. And if it's a complete new business, they kind of like have an idea, but they don't know how to, bring it to life.
Yeah.
So it's just listening to the needs of the customer and then bringing it to life. And then they go, can you change that? Can you do this? What about changing that border? Can you change this colour? And you just go back and forth. But for me, that's the challenge of it.
Yeah.
So I don't see any difference really from my point of view, whether it's an established business or a new business.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I have this like maybe imaginary world that I'm in, which I'm quite happy being in because I haven't been able to be in it. And so when I go into things with fresh eyes, I see things that I would probably change if it was mine, or what I would do, or what I could bring in.
Are there any businesses around, you don't have to name them, but are there any businesses around Shrewsbury where you're like, I'd love to get hold of that, like I'd definitely do this different?
There'll always be businesses in town, but it's their baby. Unless they reach out, I'm not going to say anything. Or
if you want Claire, you're going to have to reach out to her. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
No.
And make it worth a while too, because she's busy. I'm just saying.
I want to be part of the people. So for me, it's not just, I have this urge to help people, and that's part of my drive. And then I have this creative side where if I can bring any creativity to your business that will help that, then I will. So for me, I don't know, it's not just about business for me. It's about the whole thing.
The creative thing.
And the relationships and me knowing your story and me knowing a little bit more than probably a customer would know. Because I get behind the scenes and I want to understand it. And so I don't want to come across like I'm just here to sell, I'm here to sell. All I'm saying is if you need me or you're thinking about something, I'm approachable, you can have a conversation, we can meet up, you can WhatsApp me and I can try and help. Or maybe I show you what I do, what I can do, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But you won't know unless you try, will you?
No, and that's sometimes that's one of the hardest things to explain to people. Sometimes you've got to just like roll the dice.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there and accept that you're going to die as a business, or you're always going to be the same. I think I've repeated this so many times on the podcast because I do think it's really, really important that when you say, oh, we've always done it this way, that's quite dangerous. That's quite like, if you get set in your ways, this is why I'm always trying to change things with the biscuit. I mean, right, I love the audio only thing, but where my content's changed is I'm doing a lot of reels, I'm getting lots of nice imagery attached for an audio only podcast.
Yeah.
I've got quite a bright Instagram, we're doing an awful lot. And that's because I always try and change. And it's really sad to see a business that's been the same way for so many. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But if you're after that business, just change something. Be different.
Yeah.
Be bright. Be vibrant,
Yeah. But people are scared of change.
Yes, they are. I am the same as well. I mean, I'm contradicting myself completely, but it is scary. I'm saying it is scary.
Yeah. But
you've got to do it.
If it isn't scary, it isn't worth doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it's usually those barriers that when you get to and you're scared, if you don't push through that's the barrier, that scary barrier.
Yeah.
That's the one that you have to go through to make a change. If you don't go through it, you'll stay stagnant where you are.
Yeah, and I struggle with that as I'm doing it. My imposter syndrome is ridiculous. I talk about it all the time. I'll like.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I'll organise an event or something, and I'll do it, and I'll be like, "This is shit. I'm doing such a bad job." Like, and I'm not. It's just like something I'm trying to get over. So the Wellbeing Festival, I recorded with my microphone walking down Oakley Road towards the thing. And that's one thing I hate to do.
Yeah.
I had a very traumatic time on Pride Hill when I first started doing the biscuit.
Okay.
I thought I'd stand there with a microphone and ask people if they were shopping at Independence for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Where are you shopping for Christmas? I got told to F off so many times. I got treated so badly, and I was kind of like, I'm not doing that again. So in my mind, that's always going to, it's not always going to happen, but in my mind, that's always going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So me walking down Oakley Road, and I was kind of like, I did it on purpose to show that I can, even though I've got these insecurities in my head. I feel like you got to do that. You got to
replace the bad experience with a good experience.
with a good experience. Yeah. It's titillation, isn't it? You got to like, ooh, that was scary. Let's do it again.
I love it. I love all of that. The more you push yourself to the next thing, the more excited it is.
Oh, you terrify me and excite me at the same time, Claire. You kind of like,
I love it. Give me a challenge. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I love challenges.
running face first into danger. That's what you are.
I love it. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who is on the brink of being creative? I mean, I know you're probably going to say just kick it in the teeth, go for it. But like, if someone who's like got this idea and they want to go for it, like, what advice would you give them to get started to build on something?
Okay. Firstly, what took me forever was my logo. I'm not gonna lie. It took me like a month of going back and forth and getting really frustrated until I got it. So I wanted to create a brand. Then I wanted, the name had to mean something. Obviously, if I'm just called Colours, nobody's going to know I'm from Shrewsbury. So I was like, Colours of Shrewsbury. Colours will represent the businesses and the people of Shrewsbury, and I want to show basically the colours of Shrewsbury. Because I was thinking at first, going in with content. Luckily, the name is okay because I'm putting colours all over people's windows and doing colours on signs and like murals, and so I'm working with colours. So thank goodness the brand, the name is still working for me.
Although if you wanted something that was black and white and very bold, it doesn't have to be.
I did that. I did the black, old-fashioned painted font on Yak and Yeti's brick wall up some scaffolding.
Yeah.
I did that.
I remember seeing you.
That was black, but I was wearing full colour there.
Yeah. It's all about standing out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love that because that means like you can do anything with Colours of Shrewsbury.
Yeah, absolutely anything.
You do a mural.
Yeah.
You can paint windows.
It's versatile. Luckily, the company's versatile. The name of the company's versatile. But if you going back to your question about what would you do, I would get like a direction that you want to go in. So for me, it was like first social media, content creating. Get your brand. Get your social media set up with your brand. Like build up a kind of what's the word?
Personality.
Like build up like something's coming. Don't just go all in and go, this is my first reel. I kind of like built up a momentum of like this secret thing that's coming. Nobody knew what I was
Coming
or what
soon.
I was doing.
Watch this space.
I tell you what I did do. I did a competition because I thought nobody's gonna pay me to do anything if they can't see what I do.
Okay.
So what I did was I did a competition. That was it. Yeah, I did 1 month's free content and socials for your business. If all you've got to do is follow me, comment, to enter.
Yeah.
And then that way I'd have a business in Shrewsbury. I'd be able to create the content for free. I'd have some sort of, example of what I can do.
Yeah, you're getting the foot in the door of a business.
Yeah. And then from that, I just started knocking on doors. Emails don't work.
No.
Half of the businesses do not answer emails. They will not respond to you. I tried. It didn't work. Go straight and knocking on doors and introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you do. Leave a business card and go to the next. And that's what I did.
That is phenomenal advice. Really good advice because when I was doing Pod Aid, the amount of emails I'd sit and write and just get just tell me to bugger off. Don't ignore me. Do you know what I mean? Like that's be the best thing. But
they're too busy.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Businesses are too busy.
Totally understand it, but I was like, oh my God, this is so...
It's soul crushing.
Yeah, it is.
And I remember thinking after like 2 months, am I doing the right thing here? I mean, even me after 2 months was like, I've knocked on a lot of doors. I just need one to open. And my husband was like, just hang on in there, it's coming. And he did, like the week after.
Yeah.
If I'd have given in, that feeling of giving in because it's not working... you would have lost all of this.
That's why I'm still doing the bit. I mean, I love doing the biscuit because like that time when my life fell apart and I wasn't doing anything, I didn't have a job and all that sort of stuff, and I wasn't doing the podcast. I was kind of like that's why I started back up with the biscuit guy, which is coming back again. By the way, we do got some more content planned. But this is my kind of my therapy. This is what I need to do. But like, I'll be like, oh, what's the point of doing this podcast? Like, because my viewers have dropped because of these inconsistencies with my. With the content, I'm kind of like, well, what's the point? And then something will land, and then I'll get offered this thing, or I'll get invited to this thing, or someone will recognize me, or I'll get sent something nice. I get sent gifts all the time. It's amazing, and I'm like, that's why I do it, because it's like there are people out there that really appreciate it. And this isn't to sound like I'm not trying to sort of blow my own trumpet. I'm complete opposite of that, but I am appreciating now. It is special to some people, and I love that.
Yeah. All it has to do is help a few people.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you know that you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
You don't have to try and take on the whole world.
No.
You know?
It's always nice when I get the messages. Really nice episode. Really enjoyed that. Like, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Keeps me going that little bit longer.
It's
like,
the cherry on the top when you get some sort of recognition. You go, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm just going to crack on.
One of the worst things that happened to me was like internet, like where we lived.
Yeah.
We live in an apartment building. And across the road, they've got like 400 meg internet, like they got super fast, but they haven't wired it into our building yet. And we've got very bad internet. So I had to stop doing the live content, which I loved. I love doing Inglorious Barstools. I love doing New Suck Live. We used to do some amazing shows. We used to do like live podcasts, and we'd get guests on, and we'd sit and have a beer. Tom Bruno would have a joint because he's in Vermont. He's allowed to do that legally. It's a cultural difference. I miss doing that, but I think we're about to get really good internet, so that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
I love that because it's like having a beer with your mates. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they're in California, like George Lugo.
No, that would be amazing.
My mates, So content's really important for me.
Yeah.
Making it is really important.
Yeah, you get a buzz from it.
Yeah.
And also, you it's probably your social aspect of your life.
Yeah. I'll sit in. And there was a point where I was having a beer with my mates in California, in Vermont, and not going out to the pub with my mates in Shrewsbury. And then when like that podcast died a little bit, David Raby and George Lugo gone out of my life. Tom Bruno I speak to every now and again. Like George messaged me not long, but they're gone, and I'm kind of like stuck in Shrewsbury. Like, where's all my mates? Like, even Moose Cooper, he's up in the other side of Shropshire, so it's like, it's
not that easy.
No,
especially if you've got a family like yourself as well. You know, there's not a lot of time.
Do you have any challenges? Is there anything that like irritates you? Not irritates you, but like that you find really difficult with what you do? Got the cogs turning now.
Difficult. What I'm doing.
Or anything that you want to improve upon, or anything that you find really sort of like gets in the way of what you do, maybe.
Well, having two businesses, the other one gets in the way of this one. But I have to do the other one as well, so because it's commitment. But I mean, one day I would just like to just do Colours of Shrewsbury. Like, I'm not that I'm not doing it full time. I am already doing it full time. But if I just didn't have another business that I was having to, stop this to go back there to fit some furniture to then come back to do what I'm doing.
So right now you're going at 90 miles an hour, but you want to go 110.
Yes, basically. I don't know. I don't want to even complain about the fact that I'm busy and I break off and I go over there and I go and meet so-and-so, and then I come back and then I paint some, and then somebody rings me up, can you do me a blackboard? Yeah, I'll pop into town tomorrow, I'll go and do a blackboard. And then I've got this logo, can you design it? So I actually enjoy it, so I can't even complain about that.
Yeah.
I like being busy.
I love that too. I was in Stop Cafe yesterday, and I was working on a reel, a podcast, graphics, and I was writing some stuff out as well, all at the same time. And I was like, I always compare it to like Tony Stark when he's in the garage and he's doing all this stuff and building stuff. That is me, literally. Like if you see me editing ever, like sit behind me and watch, because it's like there's things zooming in and bringing around, and like I'm constantly.
You've got a couple of screens now.
I do use a couple of screens at home, but I'm just as quick with one because I use the double fingers on my, I'm kind of like moving things around. So it's really, I just love it. I was going to do editing as I went along with Comic-Con, but I thought it just wouldn't be fun for people because I'd just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you can spend a whole... How long will it take you to do like the editing for that?
Well, I always listen through. Always listen through because I always go back to... There's a couple of times. Number one was with the High Sheriff of Shropshire the one time, recorded from my laptop rather than my microphone. So it sounded like he was underwater, so I had to throw that away. If I'd have just released that, it would have been awful. The Slobber Knocker that we did with Charlie Adlard and John Wagner and all these amazing comic book artists all around one table at the Hive. Someone left the aircon on, so you're like, while everyone's talking. I could never fix that. I've still got that audio. I released it, but I had to put a disclaimer like, this sounds shit. But
at least people can hear it.
Yeah. I want to redo that podcast so bad.
Oh, I've done that with my mics. I've done an interview with my mics. I forgot to switch the mic on. And I was like, I'm really sorry, can we do this all again?
I wish I could bring it up right now. I interviewed, what was it called? A Nazgul from Lord of the Rings, the big Nazgul king. And he sat down and we did this really good interview about like how when you cosplay, you feel like you're 6'5" until someone puts a microphone in your face and you're you again. Like, it's really amazing. And the photos are amazing. But there's these buttons on here. And I was muting my mic on and off during some stuff I was doing, and I accidentally knocked my mic off air, which turns it off. So you've only got his side. Can you hear me going? Yeah. So he's like, yeah, it's gone. Like, doesn't exist.
Oh no!
You've got to listen for your content through. That's what advice I'd say to any podcast. Is Tom Bruno used to annoy me so much because I would be like, "Why you do the editing this week on a podcast?" And he just release it. So I'd listen back. I'd be like, I think that's just me though. I think I'm just a bit and I'm so particular with my audio.
Yeah, but that's what you do.
It takes me as long as the audio is. So this is an hour so far. It will take me about an hour to edit.
Yeah.
I'll record an intro, an outro, put it all together.
Yeah.
In about an hour.
That's not bad.
No. It depends as well though.
Depends if you keep talking for another half an hour, then you'll have an hour and a half to edit.
If I do like a medley of different conversations, collect loads of different things, then piece them together, that's a bit different. Like the well-being one took a lot of editing because there's little bits I had to snip out and stuff, you know. What are you working on? Is there anything new that you're working on that you're excited about at the moment? Because I know I see you everywhere. The Euros were amazing because you were like in every single window in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh gosh, what am I doing now? I'm doing pub signage now, so hand painted signage.
The A boards, that and stuff.
No, the swinging double sided swinging signs.
Oh right, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, and a 3 meter pub sign over the doors. It's for the hooker gate in, you know, the new inn.
Yes.
Hooker gate.
Yeah, we've been there before. Rob Gibson was doing a pop up there. Big shout out to Rob Gibson. Go.
Yeah, they're getting all new signs, so I'm doing all theirs.
Oh well.
Yeah,
well, that's pretty good.
But that's we've only just confirmed the logo. She's happy with. So now I have to buy all the paints, and now I've got like a month.
Does something like that take a couple of tries, or do you?
No,
you have to get ready to get done because it's a big piece of.
No. I have to. I've ordered the aluminium to size.
Wow.
I'm doing it all by hand in the studio. So yeah, no, it takes a long time to do.
That's incredible.
Because I do it all traditional, and all the.
You did that in Frankwell, didn't you? You did all that.
Yeah, the Yak and Yetis. I did their logos as well, and then their logo and their swinging signage and their wall sign.
So if you go past Yak and Yetis up on Frankwell and you see it and you drive past it and you see those beautiful colours, those signs, that's clever.
That's me. Yeah, a lot of people think it's just printed. They don't realise it's hand painted, which is like. Crazy.
It's nice when you have. I mean, Gary Drew is a great example. He did the Pink Flamingo at the Seven Social, and he's done so many amazing. Like seriously, like this guy's so talented.
Yeah. And
it's not. I bet it must be nice to be like, yeah, I did that. That's me. Everybody knows about that Pink Flamingo. Everybody now knows Yak and Yeti. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that I did Yak and Yeti.
Well, they do now. They listen to it on Shrewsbury Biscuit.
And I think that a lot of people don't know what I do. To be fair, I don't know. I just crack on and do my own thing, and hopefully
Well, you're onto a winner because you've got this word of mouth thing going, and you're growing at your own rate, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
It really is, because some people are afraid of growth. Some people grow too quickly. Some people, you're just taking it at your own pace because it's your own thing, and it's an extension of you, and that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on today. Honestly, it's been nice. We've talked about everything and nothing, really, haven't we, today? It's been really nice. I love that.
I love it. It's just sat over coffee talking.
Yeah.
So that's how it should be. It feels
exactly. I don't know if people listen to my podcast and think, how many takes does it take, or what editing does he do? Literally, I'll just release this as it comes out.
Oh,
It's
really?
nice. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You haven't said anything too embarrassing, don't worry. Where I want you to tell people where they can find you, follow you, support you.
Right. I'm mainly on Instagram. I've yet to build a website. That is coming, but I ain't got enough time at the moment. So Instagram, Colours of Shrewsbury. I am also on Facebook and TikTok, but I'm mainly on Instagram. So give us a follow, give us a like, because it all helps. I'm all appreciate it. And if you see me doing anything in the street, say hello as well. It'd be nice to chat to people in the street. I love that when people come up. We have a little bit of a conversation. I never remember anybody's names, but I remember the people that keep coming up and saying hi, which is really nice.
Bro, are you looking for commissions at the moment?
I think next thing, we're going into Christmas. So if people want, I've already got orders for Christmas window art. So if you want to be added to the list, do it now or forever hold your peace.
Brilliant. I love this. Give this lady a follow and support. Thank you so much for being
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Well, there we go. Claire's ace, isn't she? I thought you'd like her. Make sure you give her a follow on social media and look out for her work in town. Right, guys, I asked you questions. I asked you a question, one good thing and one challenge about being a creative, and you guys gave some great answers. I'm going to get to them right now. Susie Rawson says, good thing, you think outside the box when problem solving. Challenge, you overthink things or take time to do tasks. I do that all the time. I procrastinate. I'll be like, I'll do that in a bit. Maybe, oh God, it's going to be really hard. Oh my God. And then I'll change the font or I'll change it. I think I mentioned Comic-Con, like the You Suck logo. I think I changed 4 times in its existence because I was just like, maybe we can try this. Yeah. Moose Cooper says, good thing is doing what you love. And the bad thing is the haters. I kind of like, I love the fact that I've got people that probably roll their eyes when I say I've got a podcast, but I just want you guys to know I'm making this podcast for you. I do it just for, if I can make one person that didn't love me, then I think I've won. Shane Chebsey put, a good thing, no 2 days are the same. Challenge, society not seeing the value in what you do, so usually being poor. Yes, a lot of artists, they get the quid pro quo thing. Make me this thing and I'll give you a shout out on my podcast. Never done that before. I'm guilty of it, I am. But I think you got to appreciate that a lot of work goes into, especially hand-drawn art like what Shane does, you know? So yeah, we all need to try better. Pixie Bell put, good is creating your own dream and bad is struggling for ideas. Yes, especially on the bad days, when when you're not feeling in the mood to draw pretty things or make a pretty video or paint a pretty picture. Like, I don't know, maybe those, you got to hone into those emotions, maybe, you know? If you're feeling hateful, paint something hateful. Maybe something good will come out of it. Calcifer Alexander put, good. I can almost always make a present last second. And challenge, pricing. People want handmade goods at machine-made prices. Yes. When you go to craft fairs and things and the price is a little higher, you got to appreciate these things are handmade. They take time. You know, if you go somewhere to get a birthday cake made and it's beautifully handcrafted, give them a few more quid, I say. They worked hard on it. Liam James Tinsley put, good. You will take risks others wouldn't, and bad, you will take risks others wouldn't. It's really heartbreaking when you've done this amazing thing and you thought outside the box and you've made something really unique and people go, what's that? I'm with you there, Liam. Mike Perkins put, good. The joy you see in a person's eyes. Bad, the knowledge that there are so many people who are not aware of that joy they can experience. Yeah. And yeah, if you don't open yourself up to the universe and say, yes, I want to do this thing. Yes, I want to appreciate this thing. Yes, I want a hobby. Yes, I want to read a comic book. Yes, then you're never going to experience the joy that comes with being involved with a community, being accepted by a community, and getting a gift from that university, all because you said yes to the universe. Well done, Mike. That's a great one. Rob Chapman puts challenge. Other people thinking it's not a proper job. Good thing. You get to be creative. And Claire from Colours of Shrewsbury liked that one. She put 100%, so she enjoyed that one. Matt Doyle, he's the artist. He put good thing. The enjoyment you get from creating a product and the process that comes with it. Yes, in this case, I imagine being in the studio is pretty awesome. Bad thing, having to sell it and market it. Putting a price on your work is like, it's not, I mentioned about craft fairs and things like that, but it's not, it's more philosophical than that, isn't it? It's more like, how much am I worth? Like, how much are people willing to pay for me? I don't charge ever for the biscuit. I've always done it for free. And I've always toyed with the idea of doing, I've spoken about this before, doing some live shows. But I'm like, would people pay to come watch me live? I mean, let me know. Give me some feedback. If you send me a message on Facebook, because if you're listening to this and you think, I'll probably pay you $5 or something to come see Alex speak to someone on stage, let me know. Because if there's enough of you that say yes, I'll do it. But, it's one of those things like maybe. Thank you for your comments, guys. Really, really important to get that discussion out there, and because being a creative isn't easy. Right, I've been whittling on for 4 minutes 30 after the feature, which is quite a long time for me normally. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Claire for being an amazing guest. And if this is your first time listening to the Shrewsbury Biscuit, make sure you go and give us a follow on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. But if you're wondering where everything is, that's on the website, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to the podcast directly off there, as well as your Spotify's and your iTunes, wherever you get the podcasts out in the wild. You can also read about me and give us a follow on the social media there too. And that's lovingly made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. Right, I'm going to get going. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.